Academically, Saratoga Springs High School ranks in the top 20% of public high schools in New York and in the top 5% for overall test scores. It's a good school. This year, though, school was not the same, and the students were not either.
Can you describe the school in one word?
Fun. Unique.
Say chaotic. Special. Rambunctious. Weird.
Racist.
School, is this like a daycare?
The Saratoga School District is really annoying.
In September of 2021, more students than ever were new to the building. Everyone had adjusted their expectations for high school, and many had lived in greater isolation than ever before. After remote schooling, the rules of the school building were difficult for some to obey.
The wandering, having trouble maintaining structure, I do think COVID played a part in that. I think that we had a lot of students that spent a lot of time at home the last year and a half kind of doing what they wanted to when they wanted to, and so the can I go get a drink, not right now, is not acceptable, and they just leave and they go get a drink. So I think that kind of stuff really, the freedom that students had when they were at home and now coming back to a more structured environment is challenging.
I think I've seen a lot more really kind of nasty language and like disrespect, like straight up disrespect.
Also, some of the freshmen and sophomores now, they're making that big transition from middle school to high school. You're not seeing any of your classmates, you have the mask on, everything. So I feel like that definitely, affected them mentally.
Ninth grade is always the toughest transition year, and that's true. That was true pre-pandemic, and it's true now. I think, though, that the underclassmen this year, because the last time they were in a normal school environment was in 7th and 8th grade, have fewer coping mechanisms when it comes to situations that are social or confrontational, and they don't know how to deal with it.
I think the problem is it's easy for administration to say, oh, it's just because of COVID, but responsibility is to be taken.
While we try to make sense of it, the misbehavior affects our daily lives.
There's a lot of drugs, a lot of fighting, a lot of swearing, a lot of bullying. Yeah, it's not great.
Social media sharing only increased negative perceptions. Violence in the school has been an especially hot topic this year.
Hi, my name is Mira. I'm one of the many seniors that feel the need to speak here today amidst our last months of school, a time we should be focusing on graduation and new beginnings. We are all here because things are not working. Us seniors feel obligated to frantically repair our broken and toxic school environment for our underclassmen.
Do you think that there has been an increase in behavioral issues in the school this year?
Based off some social media stuff, I would say so, honestly. Some social media incidents, mostly.
Have you noticed any sort of shift in our school culture after returning from the pandemic?
Definitely. I think there's a lot less pride in the school and a lot less respect towards other students this year.
I would agree with that.
This year has been more racial incidents that I've seen in this school in general. I think not having a year of school really had a detrimental effect on certain students, and the way how Black Lives Matter was the beginning of the coronavirus, and I think that really had an impact on what was going on, and some students decided to make it a joke instead of taking it seriously.
And so as superintendent, I feel it is my responsibility to make sure our students do feel safe, they feel welcome, they feel cared for in our school district. But again, we are seeing, as a school district, an increase in inappropriate behavior and student misconduct in our schools. And it is concerning, I think, to all of us as adults, that misbehavior, disrespect of adults, inappropriate behavior, language, use of vapes, use of dab pens. These are societal concerns.
I think the pandemic kind of made people focus on themselves more. There was less human interaction. So, that kind of changed how people went about their matters, and changed the way they thought, more selfishly, I think, in some instances.
We are responsible for our students here in Saratoga Springs, and we will work hard to address the situation. But again, this is not only here in the capital region, but across the state and across the country, that our kids are coming off of a pandemic for the last 2 years. They've been independent of being in the structure of a school district, and we anticipated this would be a difficult return to school to in-person learning. But I do also want to start off by saying it's very important that the overwhelming majority of our kids come to school and they are truly exceptional.
It's a little frustrating that as a society we focus on the highlight of a negative in the building and not the other 99% of the positive.
The worst thing at this school is the amount that parents try to interfere with what goes on at school, and all the different social media groups where parents are attacking teachers and students. I think it's unacceptable, and we should have more faith in our teachers and our administration.
We've been through a lot. I think closing down and being home for the time being that we were all home didn't help. Right. I think society has an impact on it too. So it's a team effort. So all staff and students working on the same page.
So principals, assistant principals, our school counselors, our teachers and support staff members, they are working hard. They are doing the best they can to address these incidents, but we're also trying to support our kids based on their academic, their social emotional, as well as their behavioral needs. And again, this needs to be a unified effort, that we need the support of parents. So when kids do mess up and the phone call goes home, that the parents are going to be supportive of the school district when we're implementing consequences.
In June, Amnesty Club hosted a panel discussion with community members in support of inclusion and unity.
To us, inclusion means loving and respecting others regardless of their abilities or disabilities, their gender or sexual identity, their income, etc.
We must try to include more cultural things in school, diverse staff, and cultural learning.
I think having events like this, we had the assembly about vaping the other day. I think that definitely increases school unity. With clubs, people should be more outgoing, the leaders of clubs, to really bring members to these club meetings.
The further we can get to people being in clubs and people spending time with their peers, meaningful time, I think the closer we can get to a more productive school.